Good morning. I'm hoping that the microphone I'm using is these in the ears. So if there is anyone who is looking at this I'm hoping also that it's going to my profile, but I know that I've chosen the card reading group, so I'm not quite sure where it's actually going to show up for enabling comments. So thank you for being here, whether it's in replay or live. My, what do you call them things? It's scrolling across there. My webpage, my website is there. If you have any other queries about services I do, that's on there. It's still a developing website. I just haven't had the time to go into it fully yet to modify. So that's the website for the moment. Now I'm wanting to share that I might just do the two screens. I've got my eCam working in the background. I actually came into the show using BeLive with the eCam as a shared screen. It's what I'm becoming used to as a method of doing the live streaming. And I'll now go to the solo. That is that. You will have had enough of the Hypnosis Plus. And I'm hoping that that is actually going to show up as a full screen well enough. Yeah, it just wasn't quite. Now, what I've been doing is the hypnosis, is the fortune telling from the actual guidebook. And I'm trying to find a pointer. I actually left that down in the kitchen, so dining lounge room area. And my iPad, that is, that's got that Apple Pencil. That's a really good pointer. So what I've normally been doing is doing the show using this as the guide. Now, what I've done this morning, just to shorten it up so that it's a bit easier on my stretch on the table, is done a 7-card 2-row spread this morning. So the two that I'm going to be cutting out of it is actually going to be the line 3 and 4. So that's just what I've decided for this one for now. So where we've got someone that annoys you and what they're going to do and something that consoles me, I've just for today have left that out just to see what it's like. And if you want to express your opinion about that, share it. It'd be all good. So I'm going to move that out the way and we'll look at the cards. So what we're doing in the first one, I'll just move that completely out of the way. Now, the first one, I have got a bit of an issue with the table still. It's just a bit interesting to try and line up this camera where it's got everything in view. And at the moment, it hasn't. I've got to slip it along. I've sort of got to do it now so that I've got the cards, the table itself being able to be. I'm just going to put it back to this because it's a bit hard doing that while I well, you are actually needing to, let's go back to that. I don't want you having the movement of the camera in your view because it can be a bit for some people. So I'm just hoping that that gives you a bit better view of those cards. Hopefully, there we go. So I'm going there. The first one is to do with someone that I'll meet, being in the Lenormand deck, and what they'll do in that meeting or what comes of that meeting. So it's 15 is, oh God, I don't like that pointer either. I'm quite sure. Here's my pink pencil. I'll go back to that. So here is the polar bear, and it is bear at number 15, and the dice number 30, 39. So it's a bit to do with a very strong person. I am actually going to move the camera around to here because it's a bit difficult to keep swiveling my head. And again, another lesson to actually make sure that I've got everything sorted. Whoops, and I had my hand across the camera. And that needs to be up a bit. One day I'll actually get the thing at the right spot, won't I? That about right? Yeah. So with this one, it's actually the bear at 15 and 39. That's one of the expanded deck cards. So it's talking about the strength of a person in the meeting and the roll of the dice pretty much of what's going to happen. So it could be anybody's game with that meeting. The second line is to do with someone I care about. And I love that this turns up that it's the dog at 18. 42 is a compass. So what's going to come of that? It's going to be, or what they'll do, a redirection, a movement onward into a specific way of either doing things or it's changing direction. It could be to do with that. And the go, well, I mean, it looks like the dog's waiting to go for a walk. Highly likely in this instance. It could be to do with my dog even. You know, just a plain go take her with a walk and change the direction of what I'm going to do today. So a lot of the time I do spend time with my dog. Peanuts is a wonderful little character. So she's definitely someone that I care about. And what I've got then, skipping the 3 and 4 that's on the usual list, I'm going to go to number 5 already. So that's something that awaits me. A ring as a commitment, 25 and 37, part of those expanded cards, the choice in expanded cards, and time. So still it's biding time for some form of a commitment. I know most would see that as being a ring, being a romantic commitment and contract type of thing, but it can be to do with any form of a contract. So whether that's something to do with I am planning on selling a house that I have, and restructuring things, things that we do at this end of life that moves us into retirement, I suppose. So there could be some contracts or even commitments. Contracts tend to be more to do with the letter and that which is coming up. So I'm just going to see if that's lining up still, which it is. So I'll just move that along and checking the line up. Yep. Now we've got in the center of this one. Now, since that one was the line 5, we're going to move to something that'll help. And that's potentially help along with that because we do continue the story a little bit. That's my aim in having the guidance from the cards is actually continuing on with the story. So got a younger lady here at 29 and then the fox, 14. So being something that'll help me, I think it's just that's indicating it's highly likely that there's just someone who's a younger energy in a woman who's noticed something that I need to be aware of, and that's going to help me in moving forward in what I'm planning to do with projects or selling that house or anything. It's what's topmost in my mind at the moment. Right now, it's probably more a bit to do with how I'm structuring business online and doing things like that. Especially with Facebook and Messenger and the chat box in Messenger. I'm certainly getting some help from a younger lady to get me progressing in that way. So that's what I'm taking as that because it's highly likely it's what I'll be doing today since it's wet outside and I don't really want to be working in my shed to unpack more boxes. So because I still have boxes to unpack. Anyway, now we're up to something that'll surprise me, and that's those different masks that are happening. Oh, I've got a phone call. And yeah, I'll have to ring that one back. Apologies for that. That's what life is. It presents us with our little surprises, and I'm actually up to the surprises. So there you go. I'll actually back in a minute. I think he might have even noticed there was a notification. I might have been online. I don't know. Don't know. 40 is the mass, part of that expanded deck, and 27 is the letters, which I had mentioned before. And that is to do with having fun. It's the light part of communication and the nice stuff. You know, in the old days when we used to receive letters by hand, not happening much these days. Probably something to get back into some practice with, but it's putting on those, whatever task I'm doing today and using it in a beneficial way that's communicating something to people, which is actually what chatbots can do. So my focus has been on that over the last few days. Yeah, well, actually a week or two, probably a month or two, whatever. We work through what we have in front of us at the time and what our interests are. So squeaky chair. Whoops, didn't realise that. Something you desire, whether it will happen or not, is this one. That's our number 6 for the day today, but it's actually the number 8 for what is the normal run of what we do. I'm going to print this up again separately and do a different list of focus. But this is what I'm using it for today. So it's 7 is the snake and 12 is the birds. 7 is to do with some warnings and around its deception. There might be some complications or being careful that someone's not trying to con you because, and that goes back to that original story of, the Eve being tempted by the snake with the apple. I mean, that's very evocative of that story. So I always feel it connects in with the snake in the grass and someone trying to convince you to do otherwise than what you really feel that you need to. Be wary. And that's all that is. And it's all the words that are taken. That's what I'm getting from the 12 as far as the birds, and that's to do with communication as well. But the community groups and the gaggle, the groups of gossipers and the old men out the front doing their chatting and all the worries of the world, and they'd solve it all just in their rocking chairs and having their beers or whatever. So it's a bit to do with that as well. That's what I'm feeling around that one. So, but that is actually something I desire, whether it'll happen or not. So, I'll probably hear something along the lines that I sort of think, oh, really, I need to reconsider or think about that one. And what we've got at the last one, something nice. Flowers are always nice. Number 9 is flowers, and 34 is the fish. The fish is to do with abundance and actually having a deeper look at things that help with that. So I am feeling the whole lot of this story is a bit more to do with what I might be doing today with my work. It is a Saturday. It's the 11th of May. I don't take much notice of the days. They seem to roll into one because I just do what I enjoy doing. And I'll be progressing further through with some of my business work, which is what I intend. And that's just how that works for me today. So that's all that you really need to be doing for readings. You don't have to do what is specifically set in a list of what someone else is telling you in a book. Go with your gut feeling. I'm all for going with your gut feeling. Now I'll go back to swapping that screen. I want to go back to this visual because I've got I should have done that before. Because I've got the camera on that one, I'm going to move this one back to there because it's a nicer view. Now I'm going to go to that. So it looks a bit better. Oops, but I've got it up. The things we do, the things we've got to be aware of when we're doing these sorts of, I'm sorry about that. It will become more professional as I get better at this and know the tools to the infinitesimal. So thank you for being part of it today. And I'll see. I don't know about doing another live on the Facebook tomorrow. I figure, well, daily's good, but it's also a heavy commitment. So what I'll be doing is possibly having it a bit later on the Sunday, not this early. So we'll see you tomorrow, but at what time, I'm not 100% sure. So just put the little notification bell on. Share this round with people that you want to, as far as feeling that it's actually going to benefit them, especially asking them into the group. I've noticed I haven't got any comments. So it's highly likely I've mucked up with which way I've put this into the group. So I'll just have to direct that to, yeah, I'll do the right things there and put explanations where it's needed. So looking forward to the next one with you, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.